Hey everybody, welcome back to The Complete Game, episode 81. I'm your host, Curt Schilling. He is co-host Curt Schilling. What's up?
I mean, maybe the greatest World Series of all time we have to discuss.
Certainly one of the best World Series games of all time.
Congrats to the Dodgers, though. Back-to-back
Congrats
champs.
to the Dodgers. It's one of those things that I think I have, my perspective is obviously different than most people's, but like, I always want like the stuff that I participated in to be like the greatest event ever. Like, when people say, oh, this World Series is best ever, I'm like, oh, come on, 01 was, but both can be true. And this was one of the best games, not one of the best, not played games by a player, but one of the best overall games in World Series history, in postseason history, probably.
For sure.
And yeah,
we want to go through it all. We'll get through like all the bits and pieces of it. I'll walk through it, and you can just tell me to pull over wherever you want, because there were so many moments throughout this game. But I just did want to say real quick, they announced the Gold Glove winners today. Did you see that Ty France of the Blue Jays won one? It's like, can you imagine waking up today after that, and they're like, hey, congrats, you won. It's like, I don't care, dude. I mean, take the Gold Glove and shove it. But yeah, a bunch of Gold Glove winners today. So congrats to those guys too. But yeah, wanted to just say that before we got into Game 7. I mean, just before it even started, Scherzer being named starter was crazy. He becomes he's one of 4 guys all time to start a elimination World Series winner take all game in 2 separate World Series. And then so him and versus Ohtani.
And oldest, I think, right? Oldest.
I think he was the oldest, yeah.
Yeah.
Ohtani and Scherzer started. Ohtani escaped a bases loaded jam early. I think they both looked good out the gate. We were live streaming.
Yeah, Scherzer had some juice, a little extra juice. Ohtani was throwing hard, but he never settled. Yeah, he didn't. I didn't have a feel for him, or I don't think he had a feel for it. Well, and it became obvious.
Yeah, they both battled through the first couple innings. Both had a couple of not real like jams, but they worked out of some stuff. And then in the bottom of the third, Bo Bichette hit what seemed like it was going to be the moment we all talked about and looked back on when the game was said and done. And now it's, I guess, a conversation of whether it's even a top 10 moment of the game. But that was 3-0 Blue Jays, the first real strike of the entire game.
And who did I tell Danielle? I told your future wife.
Yep. We had there was a live home run thing they did on DraftKings, and I picked someone else, and Danielle was like, well, what does your dad think? And he goes, I think Bo Bichette looks good. Out of nowhere, he hadn't hit a home run this entire postseason. He wasn't even in the postseason until the World Series, but picked his time, and he picked the time and place to hit one too. So yeah, like I said, that looked like it was going to be the moment.
But you said it, and I agreed with it. Like, you didn't think that 3 was going to be the number.
No, at the time it didn't feel that way, and I mean, I said it.
Well, the whole series made it feel like that wasn't going to be the number, right? This game had to play out differently, just to be worthy of being in this World Series, and my God, did it.
Yeah, after 6 games like that, you do kind of worry you'll get a letdown in Game 7, and this was anything but, because right after that 3-run shot in the top of the 4th, the Dodgers respond and load the bases, and back-to-back plays by the Blue Jays, incredible defense. What you're talking about, we got a little bit of everything in this game. Teoscar Hernandez hits a scorching ball into center field on one of those 50-50s that in a split second, Varsho has to decide, am I going to play this on a hop, allow 1 run, and just like limit the damage, or am I going to try and make a highlight reel catch right now?
It's 3-3 if he doesn't catch it.
Exactly. And he does the latter, and he dives and makes the catch, which results in a sac fly. So they get 1 run instead of 3, and Vladdy makes an unbelievable diving catch on the foul line to get them out of the inning.
Yeah. He what a series he had.
And then this I saw a bunch of places being ranked as like one of the higher moments of the game that I could not disagree with more. I know you'll have my back here. In the bottom of the 4th, the bench is cleared off of Jimenez getting hit in the finger, and then Springer roped one off of Robelski, and they kind of mitigated damage from there on out. There was good pitching. Glasnow came in for a bit. Tommy Edman hit a sac fly to draw it closer in the top of the 6th. Jimenez responded again. This was just a series of responses. They made it 3-2. The Blue Jays struck back with Jimenez on the double, and the gap made it 4-2.
Yeah, and Jimenez, I think, out of the 9 hole, didn't hit well in the series except with runners in scoring position. He was, I think, 9 for 17 or some stupid number.
He could only hit with guys in scoring position.
Right, and that's one of the things that in a postseason you can't allow. You got to get the top of the lineup out. And you got to bury your head and study and prepare, but you got to get past the bottom half. And Jimenez never let anybody get through him.
And then we had more of that defense in the top of the 7th. Ohtani walked, and they set up a first and second situation. I believe Mookie was the other guy on base, and Freddie Freeman grounded into a 3-6-3 double play. Vladdy speared and threw it to the shortstop and ran and covered the bag in time. And it seemed like that was my God, they might be able to hold this here. And then right in that next inning, Max Muncy squares one up and hits it right to the same spot Joe Carter did. And you could just feel the air let out of Rogers Center, and everything felt unsafe from there.
No, wait, hold on, stop. Muncy didn't hit one where Carter did, because Muncy hits left-handed. No, Muncy hits left-handed.
I thought his went to the left field wall.
No, his went out the facade. Rojas is the one that went down the left field.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, probably that. And then, so Maxey.
That was Muncy. Muncy's home run tied it.
No, that brought him within one because Rojas.
All right, made it 4-3, right?
Yeah. And then again, it looked like the Blue Jays were going to respond. Ernie Clement led off the next inning with a double. They ended up stranding him there, and then
record-breaking double.
Yep, good mention. Ernie Clement again, the bottom of the lineup. This guy set the postseason hits record, and set. I think he had the hit streak record too. No, 15 games, 14 games,
30 hits.
Yeah, 30 total hits. That's the postseason record. Yeah, insane. And then you mentioned it before. Miguel Rojas hits the homer in the 9 spot for the Dodgers over the left field fence. That's what I was thinking, where Joe Carter hit.
Yeah.
Same spot, and again, you could hear a pin drop in there. I love when you hear, I really couldn't decide who I wanted to win the game throughout. I said it last night. I was so torn. I just wanted to keep the game and the series to keep going because it was like that the whole time. It felt like they were going to keep it going. And once he hit that, it was like the entire stadium was silent, except you could hear every guy on the Dodgers bench. Fuck yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
They knew they had something there. And then again, response, the Blue Jays come out in the bottom of the 9th and load the bases. And what does Dave Roberts and the Dodgers do? They bring in their MVP, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and he kills the rally in its place. And the controversial play at second base for, I believe, Rojas. Yeah, Rojas threw out, I forget who it was, sliding into home. Isaiah Kinna for left, I believe, who, I don't know how you feel about this. This is one of the things I see going around a lot right now, which I couldn't think of a more stupid take than he was safe, because he wasn't safe. But the one thing I do see a lot of people saying is, why did he not run through or just slide head first if you're going to slide? Do you know what play I'm referencing on the Will Smith?
Yeah.
Like he kind of stepped up.
Yeah,
that's one that I can't really see a reason why you wouldn't do either of those. Like sliding feet first is the slowest. Right?
Apparently, Jaden Daniels just broke his arm.
Wow. Okay.
On a 3rd and goal.
In a 30-point loss already? Poor Commanders.
Oh, all right, sorry. Yeah, no, that was there, and it was, I kept saying in the postseason momentum is so different. You don't have day-to-day momentum, right? You have literally in the postseason you can have inning-to-inning, pitch-to-pitch momentum, and you saw that last night.
To a T.
So many different events. Yusevich comes in, Scherzer strikeout, and for what it's worth, that's one of the loudest stadiums I've ever played in, and it was thundering last night. But there were a couple moments where, and I told this story when I was pitching in '93 in Atlanta. Terry Mulholland told me before Game 5, one of the cool things about being a starting pitcher right here is you can shut an entire stadium up. Last night that happened a couple times, in addition to the end of the game. Like 50-some thousand people just zip. And you could feel it. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, that was one of those moments, was the out at home plate, and then they get out of that inning with Yamamoto, and the Dodgers also loaded the bases in the next half of the inning. It was just like heart-pounding stuff for the first frame of extras, and they also got nothing out of that. It was another play.
In
at the
hindsight,
plate.
The game should have been over in the 9th. I mean, with the amount of opportunities. But
the 9th, the 10th, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that 10th inning, they also, Jimenez makes a play at the plate to keep it a tie game, which was just insane. Like, how many games, let alone Game 7s of the World Series, do you see 2 plays at the plate like that? It was insane.
I thought the game, what was it? Rojas is the one that homered off Hoffman, right?
Yeah, in the 9th.
I thought, and you never want to go, you're going to look at a billion different opportunities to win and lose this game. Thankfully, it wasn't an umpire's call that determined something stupid. It wasn't a Bill Buckner moment, but I would tell you that, to me, the Blue Jays lost the game when Hoffman gave up the home run. Obviously,
I mean,
yeah.
How close did it feel like we were for a second to the World Series ending on a video review with that Will Smith foot?
I made a prediction before the game that I wanted Kershaw to do well. I can't remember, but the
you
closing
said that Kershaw would play a significant role and that Varsho would have the game-winning hit.
Right, and then Varsho comes up with the bases loaded, and people on Twitter are just going like, "No way, dude, no way you getting this right."
Yep,
and
that was the same. Was that the same inning? Yeah, that was the same inning that I had 8-4 exact score.
Yeah.
60-1, and then after Varsho made a force out, Ernie Clement hit one 8 feet from a grand slam to win the World Series 8-4 on the warning track. That was part of the Andy Pages almost killing Kike Hernandez fly ball that I almost forgot to mention. Again, there's just so many things that happened in the last few frames. Literally just got put in for defense. And then, as I was mentioning before, the Dodgers loaded the bases the next inning, and lo and behold, who comes up but Andy Pages right after making that the World Series saving catch at the wall.
Yep.
Just I didn't write that down. I have a breakdown, and I forgot that. That's how many friggin' moments there were in this game. Yeah, and then the top of the 11th, Will Smith puts one on a tee, hits one even farther than Rojas. He knew it right off the bat. I mean, he had a couple in L.A. that he thought got out that didn't. This was a no doubt.
That was off Dominguez, right?
That was off of. I have it here. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Dominguez.
Yeah.
Who?
No, it was Bieber.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging slider.
By the way, we shout out to Dominguez, who threw for, I think, an hour and 45 minutes before actually making a pitch.
Seriously, he got hot like 5 times during the game.
Some of my most enjoyable parts of this today have been watching the off the ball cameras on Kershaw, like his reactions, and then obviously I don't know if you saw the incredibly emotional. His family came on the field after the game. He was in tears, which just that stuff is so cool to see.
Yep, it was cool. We're both big football fans. I don't know if you saw Stafford had his whole family in Kershaw jerseys today at the game.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very cool.
High school teammates.
Kershaw, he's obviously a no doubt Hall of Famer. Just there was a moment where it was him and Yamamoto in the pen. You know that everyone in LA and like true Dodgers fans are thinking like, oh my God, wait. I really want this moment for Kershaw, but like we need to put in Yamamoto. Like that's the smart thing to do, right? Like there's a very real like sports fan. Do I get my full wet dream here of Kershaw closing out in his last game? But I mean, you couldn't ask for much more from that anyways. And then in the bottom of the 11th, again, it seemed like the Blue Jays theme all game, looking through the box score, Vladdy doubles to lead off the inning, and they strand him there after a sac bunt.
I didn't see the double play coming. And you couldn't have asked for a perfect guy to close out in Mookie Betts, but Kirk hits a ground ball and
they put it on a tee, one hop hard, high off the turf. Like it couldn't have been for a guy like Mookie Betts. That's the one you take out of the fungo bat every day. But that was the end of it. That was all she wrote. And the Blue Jays, like in true Toronto fashion, lose in heartbreaking style at home.
Great World Series, great for baseball. A lot of really good stories. A lot of guys came on to the scene who, Yusevich for sure. I think the world is now aware of the second Guerrero is a superstar, whether it be hitting both sides of the ball. He had a phenomenal World Series. And the story about him wanting to win to give the ring to his father, there were those are those little sub stories that are in every single World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot to you brought up Ernie Clement breaking the postseason hit record. Talk about a guy who's DFA'd from 2 separate MLB organizations. They gave him a minor league contract, his last shot at baseball. You mentioned he's savage. He was playing high A baseball in April of this year. It's just that stuff. I mean, Vladdy was the last guy in the dugout. I don't know if you've seen that picture, like him just fucking crying. And it's like that. That's the very human element of the game where, like, if you're not a big sports fan and you watch your husband, your brother, your friends freak out at the TV and you're like, what are they so into the sports? They are 1/10 of what the Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s of the world feel in that moment. But they're very much there and feeling it. Like Toronto people especially, they're crazy, crazy fans.
Well, one of the things that sports will provide and has always provided is a look at what perseverance really means. And from the stories of, the perseverance in the game, perseverance in the season, perseverance in the postseason, but also perseverance in life. So one of the things that I thought was pretty profound was you saw all the players with both teams had 51 on their hats. Dodger reliever Alex Vesia, whose wife was expecting a child, was away and off the roster, and I'm going to quote the reason why. He was off the roster, quote, attending to a deeply personal family matter, unquote. And I don't know what happened. I pray to God that it wasn't something and they lost a child or something horrific like that. But both teams had 51 in their hats. And that's just, above all else, athletes are in a fraternity. And they take that very, very seriously. And so thoughts and prayers certainly to Alex's family and to him.
They all understand that this part of life is bigger than the game, bigger than any World Series game could ever be. Like, if it means you have to step away, man, then that is absolutely what you do, and we have your back, and we're going to wear 51 to think about you, and you're going to be in our thoughts and prayers, not just ours, but the Blue Jays and everybody that's a baseball fan.
And along those lines, I mentioned early on, Mookie Betts was the 2025 Roberto Clemente Award winner, and I've said, and I've told people this, people have asked me about my career. By far, the thing I'm most proud of in my career is to be a member of that group. And the reasoning is because winning the Roberto Clemente Award tells you far more about Mookie Betts than any statistic that he puts up ever could. This is the Roberto Clemente Award is recognition of who you are when the cameras aren't on you. And truly deserving. I've heard so many stories about Mookie and away from the cameras, and he gets caught serving food at a homeless shelter in Boston. And, somebody mentioned this along the same lines, that this is going to be the Red Sox second curse. Babe Ruth got traded in, or won in 18. Mookie won in 18, got traded in 19.
Why?
No, but I'm laughing because he was, I mean, you think about it, the Dodgers, that was the storyline every night was, is Mookie going to show up? Is Mookie going to hit? They win, and they won. He had a huge home run, or a huge hit the other night in Game 6, but I'm just happy for him. I mean, there were a lot of guys in this series that you could pull for, a lot of good people. And I think that added something to this that hasn't been all that often in professional sports with both teams, because there's always the guy everybody hates, and I don't want him to win, and blah 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 blah. I don't think that guy existed in the series.
The Dodgers have that Yankees I want to hate them payroll, but I mean, with Mookie, Freddie, Ohtani, they're such a bunch of likable doofuses that, like, you can't help but be happy for them. A couple of pieces of hardware I wanted to mention. Yamamoto wins MVP. Mookie becomes the active player with the most World Series. He has 4. And then I wanted to ask you, this is an interesting question that I heard someone ponder the other day. Freddie Freeman, Hall of Famer, yes or no?
Let me look at his number. Hold on.
Okay. While you consider that, for this question, let's just say yes. Is Freddie Freeman in the Hall of Fame as a Atlanta Brave or a Los Angeles Dodger?
Dodger.
You think so?
Absolutely.
God, his run, though, with the Braves, he loves that team.
Well, but in my opinion, is he a Hall of Famer now?
I mean, he's still going to play. He might win another World Series. World Series MVP.
He's won an MVP. He's finished in the top 5. 1, 2.
He won the World Series MVP last year, too.
Yep. He's won He's been in the top 5, MVP 5 times.
He's also someone I don't have to look at any research to know. Baseball writers fucking love him, I bet.
Yeah. Career 300 hitter, career 897 OPS, 386 on base percentage, 367 homers. He's gonna hit. Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer.
But you think he's a Dodger?
I think that's where he's made it.
See, I think he's a Brave, but I mean I have no idea. That's why I wanted to ask you, because I think that's an interesting one that I think even he'll struggle with a lot.
Yeah.
But okay.
Career 264 in the postseason. But the only player to hit 2 walk-off home runs in the World Series.
One is a grand slam. One is in the 18th.
Yeah. I mean,
It's hard to. I mean, the criteria for the Hall of Fame, as it should be, is can you tell the story of baseball without X player? Freddie Freeman is becoming one of those guys you can't really tell the last 25 years of baseball without.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and listen, if character truly matters, then he's a lock.
Exactly. That's what I mean by baseball writers. Yeah. Like he's the stereotypical guy, like baseball guy.
Yeah. If character really matters, he's a lock.
We will have part 2 of the episode or the interview with Tim Tashida releasing on Tuesday. Anything else, Dad? Or
no, I'm good. Well, no. You know what? We really honestly need to give a shout out to Yamamoto. MVP, clear MVP. Throws 2 innings the night after throwing 7 or 6. But I remember the contract and people saying, "Oh my God, they're giving a guy who's never thrown a pitch in the big leagues this much money." And I've always been skeptical about the pitchers coming over from Asia. But he was exactly as advertised.
$5 million for a guy, or $325 for a guy that's never thrown a pitch in Major League Baseball is the quote, I believe.
As advertised. Stud. Just a stud. By the way, let's not forget, he was warming up in the 18-inning game. Well deserved. And congratulations, and a guy you can't do anything but root for. All right. Well, stay tuned, guys. Keep hitting like, subscribe. We're continuing to grow, and you're going to see part 2 of Tim Tashida's interview. I'm not sure what we're going to do over the winter. We're certainly not going to have 3 a week. But
we're going to start cooking stuff up, though. We got to figure something out.
Yeah. I think we might try and do some interviews. And then obviously when there's big news, awards and all the other stuff, the Hall of Fame stuff, we'll come on and talk about that as well. So, all right. Have a good night, G. Love you.
You too. Love you too, Deb.